Hey everybody, Walter here. I'm on the set of Top 5 and I just got done filming the top 5 best and worst episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now I wanted to make this because when I was growing up among my family and friends, we were always wondering what's the better or scarier show, Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps? I had a few cousins of mine who are actually really big on the R.L. Stine books. He owned, I think, like every book. So I read some of those, and I love the Horrorland book is my favorite. I have like a handful of them, but Horrorland is definitely my favorite book from Goosebumps. But my main exposure to the brand was definitely the TV show, and that was on, I think, Fox Kids in Illinois, where I was growing up watching it. That's where it aired. And of course, Are You Afraid of the Dark was on Nickelodeon, and that aired throughout the whole 90s too. I mean, it started, I think, on a Canadian channel in like 1990, and it came to Nickelodeon like 1992, and it aired to 96 for when they had that like 3-year break, and then they brought it back for 1999 and 2000 with 2 more seasons, the 6th and 7th seasons of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So Goosebumps also was, I think, 95 to 98, but that had 74 episodes, I think, and Are You Afraid of the Dark had 91. So there's a little bit more on Are You Afraid of the Dark, but not by too much. They both definitely set their tones and everything. So I just watched both of these shows back to back. I binged the entire Goosebumps catalog, if you want to call it, of episodes. And I then, right after that, watched all 91 episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So I have a pretty good perspective on like what the weaknesses and strengths of both shows are and what I think is better. So I'll stay, for me, when I was a kid, I used to think Are You Afraid of the Dark was better. Are You Afraid of the Dark was a little bit spookier, got under my skin a little bit more and just creeped me out a little bit more. And there's episodes of that show that stuck with me more than Goosebumps, but Goosebumps still freaked me out a little bit as a kid, and I liked watching Goosebumps as well and Are You Afraid of the Dark. But now watching them back to back, I say without question, Are You Afraid of the Dark is definitely the better show. I mean, from a production standpoint, even from an acting standpoint, and even from a writing standpoint, which is surprising to me because R.L. Stine wrote all the Goosebumps books and all the shows. Obviously, the teleplay were adapted from the books that he wrote, so he didn't exactly write all those episodes. They were changed bits and pieces there, and there were, some episodes had big changes, some episodes had small changes, but they're all based off of his work. So maybe it's, and I like the Goosebumps, like I said, the books that I've read. So maybe overall they just function better as books than they did as TV episodes. Not to say I didn't like them. Like I said, I mean, the Haunted Mask still, like if you saw my countdown, the Goosebumps episodes, the best ones, those two are freaking amazing. And I put that up against almost anything from Are You Afraid of the Dark, and it stands toe to toe with it, absolutely. But overall, just seeing the show so close together, you can tell that there's just way more, I don't want to say effort, but more time and money, I think, was put into the production of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Nickelodeon, was maybe a bigger company than the company that was producing Goosebumps at that time. And there were also longer episodes, which is weird because, episodes around that time and still now are, usually 22 to 23 minutes, 21 to 23 minutes, something like that. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Every episode was like 24 to 25 minutes. It was longer, which is weird. Goosebumps was even shorter than the regular, which was around like 19 minutes a lot of the time, like 19 to 20 minutes. So you add obviously the opening and closing of the Midnight Society stuff from Are You Afraid of the Dark, and that adds a couple minutes in there. But that also connected the show a little bit better and gave it more of a synergistic feeling than with Goosebumps, which was every episode was completely something different. The Midnight Society kind of was obviously telling all those stories and connected everything for us with Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that, made the episodes a little bit longer, and they also could probably, add a couple things here or there that Goosebumps didn't, or maybe on Fox Kids. I noticed when I was watching Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I remember that those episodes were like 19 minutes too. So maybe it's something about Fox Kids. I don't know, that they had just shorter episodes of things than the regular. But every episode was at least like 5 minutes longer on Are You Afraid of the Dark? So more time was spent maybe making the story a little bit better. So that being said, I still love Goosebumps. I mean, Horrorland and all those episodes that I mentioned on my best list, and there's still like a lot of good episodes of Goosebumps besides the top 5 and the honorable mentions that I put up on there. But Are You Afraid of the Dark just had, like I said, besides more money behind it and everything, it was a higher quality show. You could just tell from the cinematography and the acting and everything that was put into it that it was just, it's a superior show. And besides the production of it, removing that, Are You Afraid of the Dark had just better stories for the most part. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule in Goosebumps. Like I said, Haunted Mask, almost better than anything in Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's very close. But in Are You Afraid of the Dark, the tales that the Midnight Society told were just creepier. They stuck with me more, and they weren't like gross out episodes. Like the worst episodes of Goosebumps were those gross out episodes for me. Like the Go Eat Worms episode is just stupid. I mean, when they try and go for the gross out things in Goosebumps, it seems just very lowbrow almost. I know it's weird to say about like a kid's horror show, but it feels like that with Goosebumps a lot of the time. And Are You Afraid of the Dark never really had a big gross out episodes. Maybe once or twice there was a little kind of a gross thing that happened, like the Tale of the Hatching, when they're like drinking some weird substance and like this blue gel's coming down their faces. That was like a little gross, but Are You Afraid of the Dark more aired on the side of just trying to scare you as a kid and be creepy. And going back to watch it, I mean, the techniques that they put into making some of those episodes creepy and the makeup effects on Are You Afraid of the Dark for some of the monsters are really good. I mean, even by today's standards, they look great. And they obviously didn't rely on CG or anything like that. So there's a couple later episodes, I think, of Are You Afraid of the Dark, or maybe it was Goosebumps. I think it was Are You Afraid of the Dark, where you see some CG, probably in Goosebumps too. But mostly it's practical effects in there, and they work great. I mean, everything looks top notch. I mean, the monsters and everything in there, like the ghastly grinner. I mean, that's a great costume and design. Nosferatu from the top 5 episode I just put up on there on the Channel Awesome site was really good, and I enjoyed Are You Afraid of the Dark more. It stuck with me more. The opening, while I love the theme to Goosebumps, the din 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 din, it's very memorable, and it's a really cool opening with the G going over everything and making everything like gross or evil or whatever. But Are You Afraid of the Dark, just the tones were so different. It was more campy in Goosebumps. And Are You Afraid of the Dark, it was serious and dark and disturbing almost, and it scared you as a kid. I mean, the Tale of the 13th Floor still freaks me out a little bit. I mean, when I was a kid, I had bad dreams about that episode. This is the episode with the faceless aliens. It freaked me out the most because at the end, we see that it wasn't a happy ending. The girl was actually an alien the whole time in that episode. They were trying to get her to come back. We didn't know why until the end, and she's actually an alien, and her adopted brother didn't know, and coming out, and we see her, she didn't know either, and she just has a face, freaking freaks me out, man. So, yeah, out of these two shows, these were the ones that I compared the most with my friends and family growing up, and I can definitively say, for me, Are You Afraid of the Dark is pretty far superior. I mean, not to say that Goosebumps is bad, but Are You Afraid of the Dark made creepier stories with better production value and everything involved with it. And it was a staple of 90s Nickelodeon. Without Are You Afraid of the Dark, 90s Nickelodeon would not have been the same. I mean, obviously, we would have still had all the game shows, like Guts and Legends of the Hidden Temple, and the great, shows like King and Kill, and Pete and Pete, and all those other ones on the top 5 best Nickelodeon shows, and the memorable ones and everything. But Are You Afraid of the Dark was like this serious time. I remember when I could hear you see that boat and you see those swings and that creepy doll in the opening, things were about to get serious, and it just drew me in so much more, and I was involved in those episodes more. The stories are just better, and like who didn't try to form their own Midnight Society? I mean, like me and my cousins sometimes, and my uncle would be around a fire or something and tell stories, and that's a basic form of storytelling that Are You Afraid of the Dark captured with the Midnight Society telling these stories. So I just connect so much more with it, but besides that, objectively, I think it's clearly better. Goosebumps, like I said, is a good show. There are a lot more bad episodes. in Goosebumps than there are in Are You Afraid of the Dark. Even the bad episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark weren't, like terrible. There are some really bad episodes of Goosebumps. So that's those are my thoughts on it. I want to hear what you guys think. What were your favorite episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps? Which show did you like better and why? Leave comments below and let me know what you guys think of that. Also, make sure you check out the top 5 best Goosebumps episodes, the top 5 worst Goosebumps episodes, the top 5 best Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes up now and coming out this coming Tuesday, the top 5 worst episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark. There are some bad ones, but they're not as low as Goosebumps in my opinion. Do you agree with me about Goosebumps functioning better as a book series instead of a TV show? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you check out my vlog series that I just started up. That's for the last season, season 4 of Star Wars Rebels. I'm going to be vlogging every episode of that until the end. I really like that show, and I'm going to be going over each episode just like I did with Samurai Jack and with Game of Thrones. So make sure you check those out. And once again, let me know what your favorite was. Are You Afraid of the Dark from Nickelodeon or Fox Kids Goosebumps? What was your favorite? Why? And thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.